Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics and Right. I'm Egberto, Willies, your host. We are going to have a great show for you today. In fact, I found a TikTok that made my day just scrolling through and checking out the stories. I try to keep up on some history, and because that's what I do a lot on TikTok, that's what I get. And I get some fun stories every so often, and these stories really make a difference. Anyway, good. How are my people doing? Good afternoon. I trust everybody's doing just fine. Buenas tardes, Paul Fleming. Paul Fleming from Powder Springs, Georgia. I got to remember a new one from Powder Springs. Powder my face, Powder Springs, Georgia. We have Lee Grant from Montgomery County, Bridge MCP from Binghamton, New York, upstate New York. That is AVQ from Brooklyn, New York. And whoa, we are kind of slim on the chat this afternoon. Come on, folks, where are you? We only have Paul Fleming, Lee Grant, Bridge MCP, and Rudnit in the chat right now. Where are the rest of my people? So at least we have some on YouTube, and Twitter's doing just fine. All right, folks. Anyway, we got a great show for you today. What are we going to talk about? Let me go ahead and bring up my. I think I already posted it to Daily Coast. So let's go ahead and bring that up out of Daily Coast and tell you what the show is going to be about today, because it's going to be fun. It's going to have some good stuff in it. And by the way, I got to check out early, because guess who I am going to see tonight, folks? A friend of mine called me up and said, I have an extra ticket. You got to drop everything that you're doing. Tom C. here in the shadows watching on YouTube. Hello, brother Tom C., the poet laureate of Politics Done Right. How are you doing? Tom is from Georgia. I mean, from Michigan, upstate Michigan. No, Michigan Peninsula, I believe. Did I get that right? Or yeah. Anyhow, yeah. But anyway, folks, we are going to go see, not we. I got invited to go see. Guess who? Anybody that gets right the very first time, I'll go ahead and send you something that you don't already have from me. So guess, who am I going to see tonight? Who am I going to see tonight, folks? I'm giving you a guess. I'm going to count. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave the question up for 2 minutes. Who is Egberto Willies going to see tonight? It's somebody that all of you guys know very well. Very, very well. Who am I going to see tonight? Let's see. In Texas, yeah, it's going to be in Texas, but she's not from. I cut it in half. Already told you it's a woman. All right, but it's not a. It is not a Texan. Melanie Keelan is in the house from Barcelona, Spain, and we also have Eric Hayes in the house from Atascocita, Kingwood, and Paul Fleming says Taylor Swift. No, but if I got an invitation to go see Taylor Swift, I'd go. I'm intrigued by how she has turned herself with her own words, her own melodies into an empire. I have a lot of respect for Taylor Swift. I still don't think she's a billionaire now, but I don't think I do think that others helped around, but I am intrigued by such a young woman taking this system by the horns. I'm so proud of her, taking the system by the horns and playing the game better than most. She has played the game better than most. All right. All right. I got about 30 more seconds before I confess and tell you guys who I'm seeing tonight. Right now, folks, if you're just getting on, go ahead and give us that up arrow on YouTube. Give us that like on Facebook. Give us that share or follow on Twitter as well as a share. Alanis Morissette. I like Alanis, my Canadian girl. But no, it's not Alanis Morissette. When she just came out, was I in college or was I out of college? I remember when she came out. I really used to like her stuff. But it's not Alanis Morissette. Kamala Harris is not Kamala Harris. Keep on trying. You got 15 more seconds. 15 more seconds. You guys, for what I do, you guys ought to know who she is. Come on, guys. You know who she is. Let's see. Lee Grant says, campus getting crazier. Oh, Lord. It's amazing how you make things really get to you, my brother Lee Grant. We're gonna have to give you a chill pill to let you know that this is blown up on the right. All right, come on, guys. It's a woman. All right, let me just put it. I'll give you one more clue. It's a broadcaster, or I should say a host. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. It's not Amy Goodman, but that's a very good guess, Lee Grant, because I like Amy. It's not G Ford either. My God, guys, for what I cover, I would think you would know by now, my beautiful PDR posse. Come on. You know who it is. Jackson Lee, no, but I see Jackson. I've seen her several times, but no. Alisani Dreams. No, I wouldn't even bother guessing. AOC, no, but I would love to have AOC again. I've interviewed her twice. You cover. All right, I'm going to let you guys know, and all of you, and because none of you got it, for any one of you that haven't already signed up for my newsletter, the penalty is you have to sign up for my newsletter now. So please go to politicsandright.com/newsletter. Penalty for not knowing that I am going to see Rachel Maddow tonight. Up close and personal. No interview, but up close and personal. Rachel Maddow. Okay? Yeah, I spill the guts. I spill the guts. All right. Anyway, folks, look. Uh, you wouldn't have guessed? Okay. All right, my brother. You wouldn't have guessed. You wouldn't have guessed. You wouldn't have guessed. Paul Fleming says CNN breaking news. Justice Clarence Thomas took more trips on GOP mega donor's private plane than previously known. I am not surprised. The guy's a crook, just like Alito is. But hey, they make those things get away with. Anyway, let's get started. Title of the show today is, let me put it up on the screen. The title of the show today is U.S. Healthcare is a Joke. Check out Thailand. GOP lies about crime and the economy debunked. A young woman got a pleasant awakening in Thailand as she found superior, affordable healthcare that was thousands of dollars cheaper. Republican lies about crime and the economy were debunked decisively. So that's what we're going to cover today. And by the way, I got to leave about 8 minutes or so early because I got somebody picking me up to take me to the Rachel Maddow thing. So what can I say? I have to kind of cut her out a little bit early. Anyway, so I was scrolling through TikTok, and because of what I follow, TikTok is a smart animal, right? Uses AI to kind of figure out what are the kinds of things you listen to. And what I like about their algorithm, and I'll be honest, a lot of the other algorithms only give you things that they've all calculated what your ideology is, and they make you believe the world looks like your ideology. But the difference is TikTok from what I am seeing, to be a bit smarter in that they give you relevant topics. So whether you like it or not, it's not the issue, but relevant topics. That's what is happening in my mailbox, at least in the videos that it shows me. So I'm scrolling through TikTok, and this young lady pops up, and she starts talking about, I'm sick and I'm in Thailand. And of course, all I have to hear is healthcare and another country, and I'm going to listen to the whole darn video. So I went ahead and I went ahead and listened to the video, and I picked it up, and I want you guys to hear what this young woman has to say, because there's nothing better than reality, how things really are. We can talk about healthcare in other places. We can tell Americans this is how it is there, but when somebody goes there unannounced, somebody just happens to get sick over there and then get to see what their system looks like, it's the biggest, it is the biggest, what's the word that I want to use? Positive about their system. It shows you how bad we are. So I want you to check this lady out, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Okay, now something that I did not imagine, y'all, was coming to Thailand and getting sick. It's been about 3 days now. My symptoms started out as like chills. What else was going on, y'all? I was having the cold sweats. They also had some symptoms too, but hers didn't get as worse as mine did. It got to the point to where I was vomiting, y'all, and I haven't been able to keep any solid foods down, okay? Not even liquids, y'all. Last night, I just couldn't take it anymore. I had to go to the hospital, y'all. So I got up in the middle of the night. I went to the hospital, and you gotta know, going to the hospital in another country is scary. I mean, like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what to expect, you know? But once I got there, everything was okay, y'all. What I really want to say is America's a joke. I want to say that. It's a big joke. I'm actually kind of struggling making this video for y'all, but I really just want to get through the video and talk to y'all about it. So y'all, once I finally ended up making it to the doctor, I ended up getting checked in. They took me upstairs. They told me to go to the 4th floor because that's where the international patients would be seen. It totally makes sense to me to have different doctors. I guess there were international doctors, and then they had their medicinal Thai doctors, maybe like on the 1st floor or on another floor. So y'all, I ended up getting 3 tests ran. I got a COVID test ran. They also checked for like strep throat or something like that. And they checked for one more thing. I have to look at the paper and see. But everything came back negative. So that was a plus. I'm actually trying to look at the paper and see what it was. And they also did a physical evaluation on me, okay? And for all of that, y'all, the total was 4,132 baht. Let me tell you something. Hold on. That's 113 USD. Back in the States, that would have been an easy $10,000. $8,000, probably a $20,000 medical bill. Then I probably would have had to go to the Walgreens and pay for my meds. Not no probably. I definitely would have had to go to a Walgreens or a CVS and pay for my meds. Now, y'all, they did end up prescribing me like 3 different medications. This is the hospital that I went to, Bangkok Hospital. I highly recommend them, y'all. I'll probably try to put in a little bit of footage after this of the hospital. So nice. I go there just to sleep. But look, y'all. Okay, so I don't know if I can tell y'all the kind of medicine that they prescribe me. I don't know if that's it is my HIPAA, right? But anyways, y'all. Yeah. Now, like I say, in the States, that whole little procedure probably would have been almost 20 grand, y'all. I just paid $113. So if you ask me about the health care here in Thailand compared to the U.S., baby, I'd rather be sick in Thailand than in the States. I'm so serious. The only thing was just to be having my family here. But other than that, y'all, it's a go. It's a go. And also to mention, y'all, I know that y'all probably gonna ask, I don't have insurance. I didn't have health insurance when I came out here. If you guys would like to get health insurance, I would recommend it because you can get reimbursed for what you paid. Gratefully, it was just $113 because to some, that is an awful lot. But baby, when I seen that, I pulled that cord out so fast. He'll tap it, give me my meds, baby. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But I'm sorry, y'all. I'll be back soon with the good content, y'all. Let me just finish recovering, okay? Your girl is like 99.999%. All right. Mwah!
I mean, I just love that young lady. I mean, I just love her energy, and I love what she had to say about healthcare. This is just from the heart, and knowing where you come from, and knowing that we are in a system that is a complete ripoff. Go to a country that cherishes humanity, right? You know, we like to make believe that we're this great country that believes in humanity and believes in civility and all of that. And when we hear a bombing in Thailand or a bombing somewhere, we make it seem like these people are so, different than us and that we have something special. And then you realize that they live longer. They get better health care. The masses over there get better health care. Our health care here is dependent on how rich you are. And she says it so sweet and plain. She paid $113 for what would have been, she said, $10,000 with all those tests that she gave plus the physical. She's probably closer to 20 grand. My wife had a simple biopsy and they billed her $27,000. It is highway robbery. Who are the evil ones? Who are the evil ones? But I tell you what, in just listening to a response here, we know Eric is in the house, and here is Eric makes two comments. The first comment he makes is, and I want to address this. I know I generally ignore when he makes or anyone makes trolling type messages or comments. But this one is an important comment because it says how some of us are programmed in our gullibility and indoctrination. His answer to this young lady telling a story that Americans need to hear, his answer is, so move. Well, you know what? She did. But that's not the point. The point is, when you saw that story, the next thing should be, we need to make America better. It shouldn't be move. It should have been a sensible comment like, let's make America better. Then another comment he makes, if you want stem cell treatment, go to Mexico. It is pretty effective treatment. Well, actually, guess what? You can get good stem cell treatment in Mexico at a very reduced price as well. Same chemicals and pieces coming from the United States, just that they don't rip off their people as bad as we do in the United States. So we like to make believe like we're an honorable country, we're a humane country, and guess what? Most Americans are. Most Americans are humane. Most Americans are good. Most Americans care about you. But those who are the maintainers of the capitalist system, those who are the ones that run the entire, I call them the titans of finance, not the free enterprisers, but the capitalists, those people, they don't give a damn about you. Hell, they don't even give a damn about their own. And when I say their own, I mean their own families, etc. Because for them, it's just about the mighty dollar and the system. So to this young lady, I want to tell her, you made my day, because your story, when many Americans hear your story, it reminds them that they are empowered to ask why. And we are also reminded by comments like that made by Eric, why it is so difficult for us to get that which we earned, that which we deserve, that which is humane. Because some of us are so indoctrinated that we cannot see that we are worth having a lot more, especially given what we produce for this country. Especially what we produce for this country. So, guys, to this young woman, thank you. I think a lot of folks are going to see that, and you are going to take it a little notch further for a lot of people who need to hear some truth. All right, folks. Alisarian Dream says, "Oh my God, yeah, only $113 over here. We've been between 10 and 20,000. Amazing, actually so." Breed says, "Melanie Keelan, I used to teach college computer science and IT." She's a teacher. You always know that Breed is a professor. Look at her intonology or whatever that word is. Really, really good. Billy Allerson Irwin says, "I feel so bad for people without coverage. You're poor, but not Medicaid poor. You get cancer, you start a GoFundMe." It's crazy. But let me tell you, Billy Allison Irwin, here's the deal. If you're in California, if you're in New York, if you're in Michigan, and there's no place for you to fall that says you're too poor for Medicaid or rather, you're not poor enough for Medicaid, because those sensible states accepted the Medicaid expansion to the Affordable Care Act. They care about humanity. They care about their people. Texas, Texas is our legislature here. They are some of the most inhumane people you will find, not only in the United States of America, but in the entire world. Anybody who can stand to see other people suffer and die when there is a solution already ready, I'm sorry. There is no, there is no, there is no forgiveness for those people. So when it comes to Greg Abbott, Dan Patrick, and all of their cabal, those are some evil people that have caused the death of many. Let's go ahead and see what else we got here. Eric Hayes, bashing America in the point in all facets. If you hate where you are, change it. That's what we're saying, Eric. What the hell do you think we're doing right now? We're trying to educate folks so that they will change it. There are other places doing it better, and that's what we're working on. But when you make a comment like, if you don't like it, move, that is completely antithetical to what we're saying. All right. Michael Radin says Thailand ranks higher than the US for healthcare, yet we spend 4 times as much per capita. Thank you for those numbers, Mr. Ratnan. But we have to get those things. Uh, let's see what else we got here. Billy Allison Irwin says some like the idea of the healthcare hierarchy. Makes them feel on top. I hate it. I'm always donating to GoFundMe for medical, and you can't possibly raise enough. It's amazing because what happens then is the hospital still wants all of your GoFundMe, right? So they know that you had to do a GoFundMe, so they just adjust the prices and say, okay, we'll, instead of giving you the CAT scan for $5,000, we'll give you the CAT scan for $500, so that we can take all of your available cash. Remember, there's something that I talk about all of the time. Capitalism says that that the market will adjust to whatever, or rather, the system adjusts to whatever the market will bear. In other words, they'll take all of your money. That's why when Biden gave everybody tax breaks, or rather not tax breaks, but those stipends for staying home, those stipends to take people out of poverty, instead of keeping things as is that didn't cost these folks more, they said people have the money in their pocket, we will raise the prices. They had they followed the supply model and not the demand. They weren't talking about demand. We had the demand, or rather, we had the supply. They just went ahead and jack it up. That's what's called evil. Yes, they expanded Medicaid. Texas rejected it. Yep, they sure did. They sure did. All right, let's see. Bridge MCP said Biden, Harris are making it so medical is not on your credit report. I want to see the fine print, because one of the fine print had something like a $500 cap, which says nothing. I want no medical bill to appear on your credit report. None. Zero. Zero. And in fact, what I want people to do in the long run is to just say we're not paying our medical bills, period. All right. Hello, Ray, my brother Ray. Talk to me. How are you doing, sir? Let me make sure that I get my speaker system adjusted so we don't get a cross talk. How are you doing today, Ray?
Hey, Egberto. I'm still on bed rest from a little bug that I'm getting over, but
Oh,
I'm getting better. So, I listened to the young lady's story about her healthcare experience in
right.
Thailand, and if I could retort to that, it reminds me of a Family Guy skit that I saw when Peter Griffin had got a stroke, and he
Mm-hmm.
had half his face was hanging off, and he was paralyzed, and then he went to a stem cell research clinic, and then he walked out, and he was all cured. He didn't have the hanging face anymore, and all of that. And then the first thing he exclaimed when he got out of the clinic was, "Why aren't we funding this?" And it kind of reminded me of that particular scenario. And
Yeah.
also, to another point, I kind of want to be a little, pretentious, because I think about, what she said and what you said, and it makes me think of a caricature of a conservative screaming out somewhere, oh, hell, lady, you think everybody's supposed to just get free health care? Well, this is America, and everywhere, and when you're an American, you pay for your health care out the rear end like we all do. That's the cost of freedom in this country, and if you don't like it, you can go somewhere else.
Oh,
That's also a voice that comes out of my mind. It might be a little, like I say, pretentious, but that's how I feel. If anybody had a problem with what she said, that's the voice that I could imagine them saying it in. It's like, this is America. You have to pay the cost to be, that's the cost of freedom. Like, everything has a fee on it because that's the cost of freedom. Like, I don't understand. Like,
you know what is
freedom
so
isn't free in
funny?
this country.
Yeah, this woman is not looking for a handout. She's a traveler. She's one of those what do you call it? The content creators. She's a content creator, and in fact I
Right.
just contacted her and I'm trying to get her to do an interview. But content creators, they're kind of iffy when it comes to these kind of things because they don't want to upset what they're doing, right? But I mean, I'm trying to get her on. But it's interesting because she's not asking for a handout. She's given a lot of stuff, but it's funny because what she said is, hey, as soon as I wasn't asking for a handout, I was expecting a $4,000 bill, and they said $113, and she couldn't pull her credit card out fast enough to pay the bill. She was in shock. She was there ready to pay her bill. She's not a freeload. In fact, most people aren't freeloaders. And to put it bluntly, I don't know too many freeloaders. Get up every morning and go to the
Well,
bus
well,
stop. Go ahead.
well. To respond, I wasn't saying she was a freeloader. I know she was actually saying she was anxious about the
Yeah,
idea of getting health care in a different country. But once she realized, how humane they were, and they weren't like grabbing for her pocketbook, as soon as
right.
she was able to get all of those tests, like you said, she was able to get all of the tests plus a physical for the cost of what it would cost just to see a doctor. And that doesn't even, just to talk to a doctor in America
Right.
is about $113. And that doesn't even include the test. That's just for them to stand in front of you and tell you, oh, you might be sick. But let's get some tests going, and then cha-ching, 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 and then it starts to ring up all on the ticket, and you get stuck with that big bill. And
And
and it's just because of American greed.
The funny thing about it is we are not all from an economic system, right? When I talk about even capitalism itself, we're not all that different from Canada, but Canada has a better bifurcated system, right? They realize that, well, healthcare, let's not play with it. And while we're not going to necessarily give you medicine and all that kind of stuff, you will never go bankrupt for real because of healthcare, that the healthcare costs itself. Because when you're a Canadian citizen, you have a card. Money doesn't get exchanged for your healthcare in Canada. You get a card that goes into a system. It's not a fee for service. And that is what people don't get. We accept the lies that the right talk to us about Canada. I did an interview with a Canadian that explained how it works, but it's so hard to go against the lie. And I think whenever a conservative find out how they were lied to, if they don't try to take some sort of and I mean in a positive way, but some sort of a vengeance against those that willfully lie to them, like we're going to hear. I have two more videos to play. One is on the economy, the other one is on crime. And these people have been so lied to, and they are so willing to accept it just because. It's amazing, Ray. But look, thank you for calling, my brother. Anything
Well,
else you
yeah,
want to say
wait, I got,
before we move on? Go ahead.
yeah, and just to say that, to your point, I mean, all the money that we put into the military, that could go to healthcare, but that's a whole different conversation. I know you got
Well,
videos,
no, no, but wait.
but
I want to answer
also,
that though. I want to answer that. I want to answer that. We can give the healthcare. I don't like the amount of money we put into the military, but we don't have to cut the military to put it into healthcare. We went through this discussion about printing money and the slack in our economy. If we just had rules, we could get it done. The problem is we have this, we like to claim we believe in free markets. There ain't no free market. We try to believe that we believe in the market will dictate, the market is the efficient allocation of resources. It is not. And you know how we know it's not? Because we have something called multiple insurance to pay one bill. It makes no sense. But anyhow, anyway, thank you for calling, my brother Ray. It's always great hearing your voice, sir.
All right, brother. Keep on listening, and you try to stay healthy yourself.
Yes, sir.
Take
We
care.
talk. All right, folks. That was Ray, one of our PDR Posse members. Anyway, before I go to the other video, let me see if there's anything else I need to read real quickly. I'm not going to do the Israeli thing today, E2247, but everybody can see it in the chat because we have to check out early today. But anyway, Michael says, what is it with conservatives and the love it or leave it attitude? We can see that the nation has problems and we need to work to fix those problems, not leave it to the blind and ignore them and thusly make things worse for everyone. That's why I do what I do. That's why you guys listen. That's why we share. Let me tell you, I ignore the indoctrinated and we move forward, right? Because a lot of times the indoctrinated don't get saved until something happened to their immediate family. Look at the senator whose daughter he found out was gay, and only then did he vote for the gay rights bill. I can't remember I think he was the senator from Ohio, not Ohio. I think he was from Virginia, Pennsylvania, or one of those states. Only then did he see, oh my God, my daughter is gay? What, and then suddenly it meant something. Suddenly it meant something. It's amazing. Right, let's see. Billy Allison Irwin says, exactly. Thank God for Shiners and other charity hospitals for kids. Let's see. Lee Grant says, Democratic National Convention is going to be a zoo. Actually, I think it's going to be pretty cool. Paul Fleming says, apparently today was being a terrorist to a work day for GOP as they invited Donald Trump to the Capitol. Not only a terrorist, but a convicted felon. And they all sat around and stood around the convicted felon. I actually have a picture of that, guys. I was going to write a story about it, but I ran out of time. Man, it's all I'm going to say. This is some hard work, but I got a pic. I think I saved it off. Yep, here's a picture of it. Let me give you guys the convicted felon in chief, surrounded by his peons. You want to see it, guys? There it is. There is Trump, surrounded by all these yes people. Those guys are supposed to be powerful. These guys are senators. They're supposed to be powerful. Look at how they are there watching the felon in chief, the convicted felon in chief, and they're all acquiescing to him. If these guys win, you'll have to say, and they're not winning. That was a rhetorical statement. If these guys win, it would say, my God, what the hell is wrong with America? What the hell is wrong with America? Mr. Rational says, can Abbott be charged with involuntary manslaughter? What about Fox Not News for lying about COVID vaccine? I think they could all theoretically be charged, but you'd have to have a different kind of government. All right. Paul Fleming says it was Trump DOJ appointees who prosecuted. Michael Cohen, Marilyn Mosby, Trump personally called for after she indicted the cops who killed Freddie Gray, and Hunter Biden, same prosecutor who indicted Mosby. So, which president weaponized the Justice Department? Thank you very much for that, Paul Fleming. Bridge MCP says, Egberto Willies in 2022, the three largest credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, started removing paid medical debts from consumers' credit reports. The following year, they stopped including outstanding balances under $500. What would the new rule do to medical debt? According to the CFPB, the proposed rule would help ensure medical information does not unfairly damage credit scores. It finalized it would remove exceptions that let lenders use information about medical debt to make determinations about someone's credit worthiness. Prohibit credit reporting agencies from including medical debt on credit reports sent to creditors if the creditor is prohibited from considering it. Bar lenders from, I don't like that statement, if the creditor is prohibited from considering it. I don't like that. I want it to be absolute. Bar lenders from using medical devices like wheelchairs and prosthetic limb as collateral for loans or from reprocessing them if someone can't pay the loan. That's a shame. I mean, talk about evil, right, Bridge? Talk about evil. All right, Persuasive Barrier, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Macaroni says, new face in the chat. You'll pardon me. Your avatar doesn't look old enough to be a grandmother. Who are we talking about? Evelyn McMahon. My granddaughter knocked her teeth out at McDonald's in Germany. Doctor at the hospital did not charge us anything. Her comment was that she didn't have to treat her, and for just seeing her and evaluating her, no charge. It's amazing because I heard the same story about Germany. We were doing Occupy Kingwood. That was in I guess, when was the Occupy movement? 2010, 2011. We took over a park in Kingwood for 52 consecutive weeks every Saturday for about 4 hours. And I would tape a lot of stories. I'm going to put those things back together and show you what we did in those days. I just thought about doing that. I need to reconstitute those videos. And what we did is every week, I'll do a video every week and interview all the participants in the Occupy Kingwood, and they'll tell stories. And we had that story about the German woman. I got to go find all those videos because those were some great videos. Anyway, I'm running out of time. So what I want to do is I want to play, first of all, Republican lies about, they constantly lie and their pew just eat it up, right? This one is going to be the lies about the economy. The truth of the matter is the economy under Biden is doing great in the aggregate. We have select places that aren't, and most people actually think their position is great, but that somehow other people are having problems. I want you to listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side, because the Biden economy, while I have a lot of problems with our economic system proper, within the context of the current economic system, what Biden has done with the stimuli, with the building the chips over here, the chips program, and also with the infrastructure bill, etc., has really started to have an effect on the economy, and we really got a soft landing. I want you guys to listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
The World Bank has upgraded its outlook for the global economy and said the impressive U.S. economy is powering the world. Their latest outlook estimates the global economy will expand 2.6%. That's up from a predicted 2.4%. According to the World Bank's chief economist, the U.S. economy has shown impressive resilience. Growth has remained buoyant in the teeth of the fiercest monetary policy tightening in 4 decades. In addition, the U.S. economy is one of the reasons the World Bank expects the global economy will enjoy some upside potential over the next 2 years. This, as the bank's deputy chief economist called the U.S. economic growth exceptional. Steve Ratner, you noted on social media, quote, since the end of 2019, America's economy has grown by about 8% in real terms. Meanwhile, the euro area has expanded by only 3%, Japan a piddling 1%, and Britain, not at all. America is the only big economy that is back to its pre-pandemic growth trend. So, fair to say, there are still some people who are suffering the impact. They really feel inflation. A lot of people, young people can't buy homes. There are certain sectors that are still seeing a lot of struggle for Americans in terms of their financial security. But overall, the U.S. economy is headed in the right direction. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, Mika, I think what you went through in your intro there is exactly right. The U.S. economy is, by any measure, certainly among the major economies, the strongest economy in the world in terms of growth, in terms of job creation, in terms even of incomes after inflation for average Americans, including innovation industries, as I talked about before. The tech industry is booming because of AI and some other things. But also let's remember a couple things to note. First of all, we had a really good CPI released yesterday, where the CPI didn't go up at all the last month, one of the best months we've had in quite a while. That actually led the Fed to be more optimistic about interest rate cuts. There's a 70% probability, according to the market, that we'll get our first interest rate cut in September, which would be good for the economy and good for the president, because that would obviously be right up in the run-up to the election. You do see signs here of increasing feeling of positivity toward the economy, in various consumer surveys. Consumer sentiment surveys have turned positive. But there are things like grocery prices. Grocery prices have been down in grocery stores for 4 months in a row. Food prices are down year over year. Yes, there was a huge amount of inflation relative to anything people of most ages had ever seen before, but it has come down very, very dramatically and is getting close to that 2% target. And what people also don't appreciate, for example, is that over the past year, the average worker has done better after inflation in terms of wage increases. And I'll say it again, over the past year, the average American's purchasing power has gone up. Not necessarily a huge amount, but something. And so this is a message that just needs to get out there about the fact that we're actually doing okay. Yes, there's an issue about first-time home buyers with mortgage rates still so high. Plenty of things to worry about, the deficit and the debt, which Joe and I have talked about for so many years. But we are the strong man of the world from an economic point of view, no doubt about it.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like, all right, folks, I can't play that right now. Let's see, E2247. I don't get it. I mentioned earlier, I think I said that because I was short on time, wasn't going to read your stats that I always read, right? Come on, my brother. You know better than that. And you say, I be sick of both sides boilerplate rhetoric. Explain what you mean by that. I'm not sure I know what you mean by that. Carl Cox says, Russian warships near U.S. waters in show of support of Putin's puppet, Donald Trump. But let me just go back to the story that just played, because I need to cover that. Our economy is doing very well compared to other economies. And not only compared to other economies, but in the aggregate for people. Now, the wealth disparity, income disparity, all of that is ridiculously horrendous. But that isn't a Biden problem. That is a problem systemic to capitalism that needs mitigation. And those are the things we talk about when we talk about how to solve these problems. And in fact, I wrote a book called How to Make America Utopia. And the reason I wrote How to Make America Utopia was exactly that. When I talk about, the economic system itself is what's flawed. Not what the president has to finally do is get the pelotas to say, we need to revamp this entire economic system so that it serves us all. And that is what we're missing. I got to go to the other video rather quickly. And the other video is the lies about crime. Let's tell some truths about crime. Let's hear the real numbers, and then we'll take it on the other side. Here we go.
So the president wraps his remarks on crime without a single mention of the growing immigrant crime crisis happening in this country right now.
You're seeing, since Joe Biden took office, crime skyrocket.
Wouldn't we love to have a statistic where crime is down 67%? Ours is only going in one direction. And
if you listen to Donald Trump or conservative politicians and conservative media like Fox News, you probably think that we are in the middle of a massive crime wave. We are not. This week, we got new FBI crime statistics showing that in the first quarter of this year, crime is yet again down across the board. Overall, violent crime down 15% from last year. Murders down 26%. By every national metric, crime is down. Regardless of the facts here, Fox is still going big on crime. The organization Media Matters counted 403 reports about crime on Fox in just the first 2 months of this year alone. The last time the FBI released crime data, back in March, crime data that again showed another drop in crime across the board, Fox gave that data approximately 2 minutes of airtime in the first 2 weeks after the data came out. Fox only mentioned the declining crime rate 7 times in those 2 weeks, and one of those mentions was this one.
New data from the FBI claims that the U.S. crime rate is dropping. Let's look at this graph while I stab you.
Given how much elected Republicans and national conservative media are pushing the narrative of a staggering crime wave despite the facts, it sort of makes sense that Republicans believe there is a rise in crime when really there isn't. But the thing is, it's not just Republicans who believe that. Recent polling from Gallup shows that 77% of all Americans believe there is more crime in the U.S. today than there was a year ago, despite, again, the opposite being true. Crime went down this year and crime went down the year before. We are in the opposite of a crime wave. So what gives? Why do so many Americans think that crime is up? Well, there are probably a lot of reasons, but there is one reason that does not get enough attention: local news. In 2019, one of Seattle's local TV news stations, Como News, put out this documentary entitled "Seattle is Dying." It depicts Seattle as a city in decline because of rampant crime and homelessness. The Seattle Times newspaper was quick to refute the documentary's assertion that Seattle was dying, pointing out that both property crime and violent crime had been dropping in Seattle for decades. And Como News, K-O-M-O News, isn't some independent, wacky outlet. It is part of the Sinclair Broadcast Network, a network of nearly 200 local TV stations. As the Washington Post put it, Sinclair's recipe for TV news is crime, homelessness, and illegal drugs. Journalist Ann Nelson told the Washington Post Sinclair plays up crime stories in a way that is disproportionate to their statistical presence. Or as media critic David Zurwick told the Post, it's a Fox News wannabe. That's their model, a political tool rather than a journalistic platform.
A political tool rather than journalistic platform. And that is something we have to rid ourselves of. This is our airwaves. All the different airwave, the signals belong to us all. That they can use that to mislead and lie to people should be something that no one should be able to do. So it turns out again that the Republicans they're going to fight. They are going to fight a battle with Biden, Trump versus Biden, on a lie. The question is, can the lie hold out long enough for before people realize they've been had? They're lying about the crime problem. They're lying about the immigration problem. They're lying about the economic problem. They're lying about Trump's criminality. They are built, the entire Republican political structure is built on a lie. And the problem is, when you're not getting your data from reliable sources, it is so hard to get that out. So remember, folks, when you constantly don't buy into their bogus lies, their bogus information, be the truth teller. But not only that, be the aggressive truth teller. Don't let them dictate the narrative. You do, because you have the truth on your side. So whenever they talk about crime, yes, please remember, let's talk about crime. Red states are crime ridden. Blue states are not. You want to talk about economies? Blue states have the economic engines that are supporting your red states. You want to talk about immigration? You guys need the immigration, and take a look at your peach. You're in Georgia. Take a look at your peach farms in New Mexico, and be ready, be aggressive. Don't sit back and allow a lie to win. Just tell the truth, and the truth will run rings around the crap that they talk day in, day out, day in, day out. So folks, I got to take off early. So I want to thank all of you that are here listening. E2247, you know I love you, brother. So I mean, I don't mean to miss anything, but I think I said up front that I was going to do the Israel thing tomorrow. So folks, I want to thank you all for being here. I'll let you know how my trip with over to listen to the one and only Rachel Maddow does. please support the program. And how can you support the program? Go to politicsdoneright.com/support. politicsdoneright.com/support has all the ways to support the program. But if you want to make my day, if you want to give me a great Father's Day support thing, right? Go ahead and become a paid subscriber of our Substack. That is politicsdoneright.com/newsletter, politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. That allows us to continue being truth tellers and making sure to do things around. E2247, you're still here. Thank you. Are you paying attention to how many U.S. Army dudes and dudesses are resigning due to Biden-backed genocide? It's a rising tide. I saw it on Rachel. I think it was on Rachel. There's a woman who came on there. She left the Biden administration because of the genocide. Yes, E2247, I did see it. Anyway, I got to get out of here. Look, guys, love you all. Please keep listening. Please keep sharing. And please help the program stay alive by going to politicsdoneright.com/support and also subscribing at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. And you guys know how I end this, baby. I am what? Out. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.